Hi, welcome to Southern Girl in the City. My name is Dominique Duarte, and I'm a singer-actor who currently lives in Brooklyn, New York. Hi, I don't think I posted, I did not post last week. I've been trying really hard to post my podcast every week and have, I think, since September. But I had eye surgery on Tuesday, March 18th, and I did not feel like my eyes were presentable enough to shoot last week. So when I had the eye surgery, my eyes were extremely red. Like, I don't mean like, oh, you got allergies red. No, it was like monsterish red. Because I didn't have a laser surgery. He actually used scalpels and things to fix my eyes. So, this is just going to be a life update. It's not really going to go with my blog this time. I may post it on the blog, but it's irrelevant to the blog. I try to make the video be in association with the blog because I want to post videos on my blog. I want to post a post about people pleasing because that's something I struggle with. And I think everyone in some way struggles with. And I'm reading this book by Ginger Duggar Volo about people pleasing, and so I want to review that book as well as describe my experience with people pleasing. However, okay, so life update. So when I was born, I had a condition called amblyopia. I think that's how you say it. It's basically where one of my eyes was lazy, and the other one looked a little more normal, but basically both eyes were a problem. It just looked like one was the problem. But technically, both eyes were not working together properly. They never were. Now, when I was 6 months old, the ophthalmologist, we started going to Dr. Flynn in Memphis, and he wanted to do surgery on me when I was 6 months. But my mom was like, no. And then I think again, he mentioned it when I was 9 years old, and my mom said no. Here's the thing though, I think in the Black community, people don't really, it's not so much that we don't trust doctors, but I think that she's from an older generation. So much so that a year later, after I was 9, she got really sick and she had to have a really serious surgery on her head. And my grandparents were like, nah, fam. But she decided to do it because it was a life or death situation and she needed it. Mine was never life and death, and I think that was the reason why I was kind of like, I mean, yeah, we could do it, but is it worth it? I think that was the difference there. I mean, I've had a decent quality of life. It's not like I've been struggling out here. I know there's some people who have this condition and it's way more noticeable than mine. I think when I was a baby, if you look at all my baby pictures from baby until I was about 4, it's very significant. Like you can see, so sorry for my light. Hold on. Oh, I know what happened. So sorry. There we go. So sorry. Um, so it was noticeable when I was a baby, a toddler and a baby. It was very noticeable. Because I was going to ophthalmologist and he had me wearing the eye patch a lot. I wore the eye patch when I was a toddler. And then again, when they wanted to do surgery when I was 9, he had me do it again because his thing was he wanted to prevent from having to have the surgery. Yes, it would have been the first option, but since he knew my mom didn't want me to do that, he was trying other ways to figure it out. So he had me wearing corrective lenses. He had me wearing the eye patch. I was consistently going to the ophthalmologist my whole life. I didn't just go once a year. I usually went like 2 to 3 times a year ever since I was born. So he really, keeping that monitoring of my eye helped me be able to fix what was so noticeable when I was a child. However, I don't know if it's stress, I don't know if it's life or what, but in my 30s, I have noticed in the mirror in the morning, like, dang, there's a difference. Like, I'm seeing my eye going inward every day. And I'm also starting to do more TV and film, and I'm doing stage work, and it's just like, if I really want to go to the next level with that, and I'm really serious about it, sorry, I'm trying to make sure my laptop doesn't go out again, so this light doesn't go out, it's connected to my laptop. if I really want to go to the next level, I think I really need to get this fixed. Actually, I went to an optometrist for a contact fitting. And she was, as soon as I walked in the room, she was like, "Why haven't you gotten that corrected?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I thought it was too late." I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know you could get this surgery as an adult. I actually thought it was riskier to do it as an adult, which was why I just said, but apparently, even if you had it as a child, you might have to have it again as an adult, which I didn't know. I had no idea. So technically, me having it as an adult might have been better. Um, but I don't know. Like, it depends because the surgery could go either way. Like, there's some people who have amazing results, and there's some people who didn't. So, and it's still too early to say because I think you could still have side effects like late, later. So when she said that, I was like, well, I had never really thought about it. She was like, your insurance would cover it, and I was like, they will? Huh? For real? They don't consider it cosmetic. They consider it, I don't know what the term would be, but it's not a cosmetic surgery. Um, so she was right. The insurance covered it. So I went to my ophthalmologist in New York. He was really hesitant. He was like, "Are you sure you want to do the surgery? Because if you do, it could cause double vision. It could cause like this." And I was like, "You know what? I want to see." So he referred me to this pediatrician who's an ophthalmologist pediatrician, and he a pediatric ophthalmologist. That's the right term. Sorry. So I went to him in January. He saw the differences and then noticed it, and he told me, "Here's what you would expect. Your eyes are gonna be red for weeks." I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would say, considering that it will only be 2 weeks on Tuesday, the redness went away a lot quicker than I thought. Cause considering how red it was when I first got the surgery, like it was blood red. Like it was, cause this is thriller nights. Yeah, literally. That was my eyes. And that's exactly what it looked like. I was like, now it looks more like, oh, you got a little allergy, but it's not like the way it was. So I would say I thought that redness, because he had told me my eyes are going to be red, like the Target bag that I had with me that day. And I was like, dang, that's going to be red. And he was right. It was that red. That's why I was like, I couldn't shoot any videos because it was like, I don't want to scare people. And I didn't go to work last week because I don't want to scare the guests. So I was just like, you're going to have to take a break. But anyway, he referred me to this man. He told me I had to have an appointment before the surgery. Originally, the surgery was scheduled for March 7th. They changed it to the 18th. I didn't change it. They did. Considering how slow my work situation has been, I could have had it on the 7th or the 18th. Um, but then I found out I had to have someone with me the day before, 2 days before, and I was like, oh man, I didn't know that somebody else had to go with me because I've never had surgery before. I was bit by a dog when I was 7, and so I did have to have stitches for that. But other than that, I've never had surgery, so I didn't realize, oh snap, I can't just take an Uber and go home. Mm-hmm. So I had the woman that does my hair actually. She had was doing my hair that day when I found this out, and I actually got 2 inches of my hair cut off the last time I got my hair done, which was nice because one, I'm gonna be on this ship. I'll go get into that later, but I will be on the ship, and I think having my hair a little shorter will be good. And I didn't want a big chop again either, so it was kind of nice to just have a couple inches cut off. I hadn't had my hair cut in a really long time, so it's just a little bit shorter. But I asked her, and she stepped in and she stepped up, and I was just shocked because I didn't have much time to, find somebody. But she stayed with me the whole time and took the Uber home with me and took me home, and I really greatly appreciate it because I don't know that many people in New York. And I don't have family here, so I didn't really know who to ask when they said you gotta have somebody. I was like, who do I ask? Everybody's gotta work. And she has to work too, but because she's a hairstylist, she kind of has more of a flexible schedule ish. But she also has kids, so I didn't know. But she really stepped up, and I want to do something nice for her because that was really kind of her. Um, but the surgery was, um, Interesting. Okay, so the day that I have it, there's this baby that's there. I think the baby had the surgery before me, because you can hear, they put you behind these curtains, and you can hear the other people. So like there was this baby who I think had just come out of surgery, and that reminded me of the fact that, oh yeah, that would have been you 35 years ago. And then right before my surgery, right before I'm about to go in, there is this guy that's coming in for his surgery, and the doctor, who's my doctor, comes in and tells him you can't have the surgery. And I was like, wonder why he can't have the surgery. And he was like, you can't have the surgery because you smoked before the surgery. And I was like, why would you smoke before your surgery? Like, dang. Anyway, so he was just like, you can't have the surgery because the anesthesiologist is not having it. Like, you cannot come in here and have smoked a cigarette, have smoked, and expect to get the surgery. And he was like, oh, so I can come back tomorrow. And he's like, no, you got to reschedule it again. And I know the scheduling is no joke, because I scheduled the surgery for the 7th of March in January. So I think it was late January, early February. So, and they moved it to the 18th. I didn't move it to the 18th. They did. So the thing about it is you could get a date and then they could move it according to their own schedule. So I felt bad for him, but I was like, dang, that sucks. Because he probably would have had his surgery right after me. I mean, this guy has, he was rolling through these surgeries. But I, anesthesia. I call her Anastasia. I know it's anesthesia. But Anastasia was no joke. I had never had Anastasia that I can remember. I think when I had my teeth pulled, I might have had a little bit of Anastasia. But this was a lot. And so before I went to sleep, I don't even remember. All I remember was asking this woman, have you given me something to go to sleep? And then I remember nothing else. I was like, I was gone. And then when they woke me up, I was just like shaking because I had chills. I don't know. I remember when I got the vaccine, that was one of the symptoms that I had from the vaccine afterwards was chills. I don't know why that is. But and then I was just so nauseous, and then I took the Uber, and the Uber was like bumping. I could not open my eyes. Like it was like, oh, I don't know why I thought I could take the train home originally. Like I thought, oh, I'll just take the subway home. It'll be totally fine. Wrong, because you can't see. I could not open my eyes. It was just like this. And then two, it was all this stuff coming out of the eye, like it was like dripping, like it was so disgusting. And I couldn't see, so I couldn't even. I was just putting the tissue on there, but it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so disgusting. You have literally blood tears for like a day, and because it was such invasive surgery. And then when I come home, I feel kind of scared because I'm like, oh no, I have to go upstairs. Um, I forgot I live upstairs. Like, I live upstairs. And I was like, oh my gosh, how the heck am I going to get upstairs? Because I can barely see. One of the things that did help me is I know my apartment well because I've been here for almost 3 years. So I did finally get up the stairs when my friend was getting something for me to eat. Some soups, some like, because I had soups, but I didn't have the like brothy soup. And since I had the anesthesia, I was still nauseous. So she was saying it wasn't good for me to have the soups that I currently had. So she went into the store and got some, which was really generous. And I was able to eat a little bit, but I just wasn't that hungry. And then after she left, I got sick because like anesthesia, like apparently if it's strong enough, it really makes you very nauseous. And I don't ever remember anesthesia having that effect on me before, but I don't know if I'd ever had it that strong before. I knew because he was operating on my eyes and he wasn't using laser and he was actually using like metal materials, they had to make sure that I didn't wake up during surgery. And I'm still mind boggled the fact that I was under anesthesia and I'm asleep, but yet he's able to operate on my eyes. Mind boggled. Mind boggled. So whatever they gave me had to be strong. because I couldn't get up. Like I couldn't wake up in the middle of the surgery. So they gave me probably a larger dosage than I have maybe had in the past. Like I after that I didn't want to ever have surgery again. I was like I don't ever want to have anesthesia again because it felt awful afterwards. I was like, dang, I feel horrible. And then my eyes are just dripping and it's just like, oh my god. Um by day the next day I was finally able to open my eyes, but it was still not quite normal. It was like my eyelashes were like stuck together. It was just like, oh my gosh. By day 3 it was a little better. Day 4 would have been Friday. Friday things were feeling a lot better. I was feeling more physically normal, physically better, and I was able to open my eyes. I think normally, mm, I was still feeling the stinging, and I couldn't understand why. But then I had the appointment on Monday of last week, and when he had the appointment, he was like, "It's probably the stitches," and I was like, "Ew, ew." Like I thought it was like an eyelash stuck in my eye, like because it's what it kept feeling like. It was like originally the eyes were just sore, but the left eye was really, really sore. I don't know if it had more operation on it, but it was like that one is still to this day slightly sore. This one has not been like, even though it had a lot of surgery, it just from day one, other than the fact that I couldn't open it up very well and it was a little sore, this one was really sore. Like, and it would and I kept feeling like my eyelashes, like you just felt like an eyelash was in my eye. And I kept looking at my eye and being like, dang, is there something in there? I'm like, no, it's not. It's just your eyelash. It's just the stitches. And I was like, ew. He said that they will eventually dissolve. I can tell they've already started to dissolve because one, I can open my eyes normally for the most part. And also, I'm not feeling that stinging, but I am still feeling it on this eye, particularly the bottom lid. Like you can tell the stitches is still there. But I definitely that first 24 hours was rough and I just was like, I don't know if I would ever want to do any type of surgery ever again. I was like, this is awful. But actually the recovery was relatively okay and pretty quick. I would suggest you have someone stay with you probably for 2 to 3 days because it was nice to have my friend there for the few like for like a little bit, but I think it would have also helped had I had somebody with me, but I just didn't think to do that because I'm so independent and like maybe a little hyper independent, and I think I just thought, oh well, I'll just recover. And I did. I mean, I once she showed me everything, everywhere she put everything in my room, I could navigate even though I couldn't see. I knew where everything was. So that's how I kind of figured it out. And then I was able to walk to the bathroom without really seeing. Like when I say I couldn't open my eyes, I really couldn't. But I knew where everything was. So that's what helped. Um, so yeah, I'm really glad I got the surgery. I went to to the doctor and he was just like, your eyes look amazing, your recovery looks good. He said he wants to follow up with me before I go on the ship. So, second life update. Right before I had surgery, I had to get a drug test too because I had to get a drug test for this job. So, here's the thing, I quit the school in January. I was working in a public school as a teacher's assistant. I quit in January 6th. Since January 6th, the only job I really have been working consistently has been Tribeca Rooftop, which I love this job. Great job. Really good part time job, not a great full time job. Unless you're one of the core people. And I'm not the core because I just got there in September. Makes sense. I can't get more than 26 hours at that job, and that's on a good week. And unfortunately, when I quit the school, it was probably the worst time to quit because of the shifts being so scarce. I mean, we're talking I got one shift a week for 2 months. And then Maryvance, I think I got two shifts in January. And in March was looking good. It was like, okay, you got 4 shifts the first week, then 2 shifts, then 0. Actually, no, it was gonna be 1, but I dropped it because of the surgery. Um, and then this week I have 4. which is nice. I think maybe next week it should probably be the same. I don't know. April should be rolling. But considering how much debt I have, it's just not enough. So when I was applying for jobs, I've been applying for the same amount of jobs that I applied for in September when I lost my job. Have to think about the fact that it's a different time. Because in September, I know that was only a few months ago, but in September when I lost my job, I got two jobs within 2 weeks. Tribeca Rooftop and PS33. However, we're in January, or we were in January. And in January, in February, looking for a job is very different in New York City. So I was going on interviews. I was getting interviews for, I interviewed for a few schools where I was really trying to move away from education. But there were some schools that I had applied for and I did interview in person. There's still one school I interviewed for that never got back with me either way, which is unusual because usually schools are pretty good about telling you, hey, we moved on, or hey, you got it. In this case, that school, because they're not looking for somebody until September, I think that I don't know. Also, it was an elite private school, so I don't know. They might have a completely different life, okay? But I really was trying not to go back into education. So that's some of the reasons it wasn't as easy for me to find a job this time, because I was trying to not go back into education. I think part of the reason I go into education is because it's easy. Easy, easy, easy. It's easy for me to get another job. Um, in customer service, people think it's easy. Like they think, oh, we just get a job at Starbucks, just get a job at Target. No, it's not that simple. Believe me, I have applied for Whole Foods, Target, all of that over the years. Never get an interview. And I have experience in customer service. I think I'm overqualified at this point. So what I've been interviewing for was catering jobs. I had catering job after catering job after catering job after catering job. I think I have been on like 20 interviews since September between catering and education. And I have not gotten any of the jobs. Came close to a few, like Empire State Building, almost got that job, couldn't get it because it conflicts with the Marivents. Because I worked through the Empire State Building through a Marivents. But a Marivents has a contract with Empire State Building, so you can't work for Empire State Building if you were introduced by a Marivents. You were introduced to Empire State Building by a Marivents, so it's a conflict of interest. And then there was this job where I was applying to be an associate teacher at a charter school. And this was right after I had gotten the job at PS33. And then they were like, you should apply for the music teacher position. Fine. I applied for the music teacher position. Don't get the job. Do the demo and everything. Don't get the job. And then they tell me, because I applied for the music teacher position, I'm no longer eligible to be considered for the associate teacher position, which was the one that I originally applied for. I was just like, you know what? This is crazy. So here's what I do. I'm on Indeed. Me and Indeed have been besties. I mean, almost every job I found has been on Indeed, okay? Anyway, I see American Cruise Lines, and I'm just like, now I don't feel like leaving New York City right now. But anyway, maybe I do, because I'm kind of tired of being here, and I can't move nowhere else. So I was like, let me apply. So I applied, and then I heard something immediately, and then I had an interview, and then she called me and said I got the job. So I'm leaving. It's gonna be hard work. Like I'm gonna have to work from 6:30 until like I think 10 every day for 7 days a week. Now if you're a performer, I think you get more downtime. So one of my friends, one of the colleagues that I worked with on tour a couple years ago, he suggested that I apply for this other company. So while I'm on this ship, I'm gonna apply for that because I would like to perform on a cruise ship. I think that would be ideal, especially if I'm able to do this. If I can do this job, then more performing will be a breeze because I think you only have like a couple performances a day. But when you are the server, you are working all day. So it's going to be intense physically, but I did the math and it's like I will pay off the IRS, I will pay off National Debt Relief, I will pay off my graduate school tuition that I still owe. Everybody's gonna get paid. I'll put money away in my savings, a decent amount, more than I've had in years. And That way, when I come back, I can focus on taking lessons again, like taking vocal lessons. I'm meeting with a talent agent next Thursday in Jersey, and that, I don't know, we'll see what happens with that, especially because now I'm leaving, but maybe they'll consider representing me after I come back. I don't know, but I really think that this job will be the catalyst for my performance career, because me getting out of debt, or at least getting the chunk of my debt out of the way, is going to relieve my stress. It'll only leave me with my student loans, which they've been a part of my life since 2008. But I'm going to try to get into an income driven federal loan program. That way I could be paying every month towards that. And then if I have any additional funds, any additional anything that's not a part of vocal lessons or acting classes or my rent or whatever, I'll put it towards my student loans from now on. And if I don't book a performance job by this time next year, then I'll do the ship again, and that'll help me pay off half of my student loans. Once again, try to perform, busk, give plasma, work at Tribeca Rooftop and Amerivents, and try to book a performance job. If I can't book it again, once again, 2027, do the cruise ship one more time, pay off all of the debt, pay off every single student loan I have. So we got options. You know what I'm saying? Education was supposed to be it. Education was supposed to be the way for me to pay off my debt, and it just, it did not pay off my debt. It actually made my situation worse. So I think one of the things I learned is that, you can't chase the almighty dollar. I think that I know we need to make money, and I know that you need, you want to pay off your debt, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get a third of the way there by doing this. And that's a start. And that will really significantly decrease my bills. Because right now, when you take out my debt, I don't have a lot of bills. I just have rent, my cell phone, internet, and then the subway pass, and food and toiletries. I have very low expenses. The problem is my debt has always been so much that I'm just always trying to pay all of these creditors. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. Working on the cruise ship, get the debt paid off, try to continue to work on my songs. I did get a sponsor on Instagram. So I'm going to try to, I bought something from them. I didn't really have to buy it. I paid the shipping, but it's a company that I got a necklace from them. So I'm going to try to start wearing it on Instagram. So I kind of have a sponsor on Instagram. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just eye surgery. Apparently, according to my friend, my eyes look pretty good. So that's good. And just getting ready to prepare to leave for the ship. I can't bring very much with me, actually. I can only bring like the bare necessities because I can't bring a suitcase. I have to bring like a duffel bag and a backpack. So I cannot bring anything crazy. So they provide your uniform, so you really don't have to bring that much. So yeah. I'm excited. It'll be nice to have an adventure. It'll also be nice to get out of New York. So I love New York, but I'm also need a break from it. So it'll be cool. So, this has been Sullen Girl in the City, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely day.